I think I am live.
Oh shoot, I'm gonna be.
Huh?
I'm gonna be in it. Now I'm all nervous.
Are you nervous?
Oh, goodness. Gotta censor what we want.
Yeah, we gotta censor what we're saying. I think I'm doing I do this like every 2 months we do a Google Hangout, and I always forget how to freaking use this thing. Because I think there's a way to do it where I think there's a way to do it where other people can actually talk to you directly.
Oh.
And I can't freaking for the life of me figure it used to happen automatically, unless maybe I'm supposed to invite people. Hold on. Yeah, so we're gonna start lessons or whatever soon, eventually. All right. So I don't know how many people are coming to class today. Might be just Newton because I just did this last minute. Doesn't matter.
Should call Ryan with me.
Ryan, he's still asleep.
Yeah, the game's working.
He's working till 2. Raph, I see you're here. If you got a question, just post it on. Otherwise, I'm going to start talking about crap, and we'll figure things out along the way. Hold on, I'm still organizing stuff, so always a little messy here in the beginning. You can see how well prepared we are. Yeah, because I know normal Google Hangouts, I think, has 10 people that can actually access it. But I don't know what the frick I'm doing here. Every time I'm said, I'm gonna look into this more. I never do. Oh, I see that. There's a Q&A. By the way, there's also a Q. I think I activated the Q&A button. So if you have questions, hey, Raf, can you try to ask a question? And let me see if it pops up on here. I think it's on the Hangouts, right? Or do I ask a question? I don't know what the frick I'm doing. All right. Oh. What are we doing? Oh, yeah. What, you have any question? You can just show your lousy punch.
I just woke up too.
All right. Okay. Let's see where we start. Start with ill prepared. Okay. Topic can we cover today? Okay, let's talk about okay, in Chisa. We're rolling, okay? It's not the best. I'm not sure if I'm getting the best angle. This looks like Kim Kardashian's Ray J video.
You can see which side took the sides. You can switch.
I'll be like Ray J. Okay. All right, so we're going to be rolling here for a second. One of the things when in Chisa that you want to develop is when structure. A lot of times, okay, yeah, okay. Here's a topic we could talk about. Just thought something. A lot of times, the common mentality is people try to think of it this way. People want to develop the reaction to a particular kind of force. In other words, if you think of a balloon, imagine I have a balloon here, okay? And when the force hits the balloon should, in theory, naturally just react, whether it bounces off or what is the way you want it to react. But oftentimes in Wing Chun development, it's often misinterpreted how you want to deal with it. In other words, when the force comes in, I want to either, if the force is too much, I want to deflate the balloon. If the force is enough, I want to inflate the balloon. So in other words, let's say Nguyen's in this bounce right now. And try to do the best that I can with the camera angles. And if I touch his arm, okay, and then I put some force into his arm, okay, then all of a sudden he moves back slightly, okay. So a lot of times people think if I touch him and I start putting some force in, now he starts making adjustments on his stance, okay. Hard to see that. He'll do it to me. I'll do some bad. Do the other side. He'll do it to me, and I'll do some bad acting. So in other words, here's your bong saw. Most people have it this way. You have your bong saw in place, and then all of a sudden he starts putting pressure, and then all of a sudden you see yourself adjusting to that force. And the thing is, if you develop it that way, you're always constantly reacting. You're actually learning to wait for the force and react to it. You're either, if the balloon is improperly inflated, you're going to inflate it or deflate it or adjust it based on that force. And if you go that path as far as developing wise, oh, it's awake. Shit, they're actually awake.
This is like
Ryan's actually here. He's like, I think he's sleepwalking.
and it's 10:15.
Luckily he's not naked.
I know.
Oh, we can change that. What are you guys doing?
We're actually on air live right now.
I'm not ready to be installed.
Huh?
I'm not ready to be installed.
You at least brush your teeth?
No.
All right. Okay, what were we talking about?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so here. So if that's the case, if that's the case, then you're always he gives you the force, and then all of a sudden I make my adjustment from that. That to me that kind of development is the wrong kind of development. Okay, in other words, you're always a step behind. You'll always be learning how to react. You'll always be like a trained dog as far as learning your tricks. Okay, how should it be? If imagine the structure done right. If I hold my structure correctly, by the time as soon as he pushes against my arm, guess what? Automatically I'm adjusting. You don't see me if I'm here and he pushes against it. You don't see me go like this and I'm fidgeting to adjust my stance, adjusting my structure, adjusting the hand, adjusting the leg, and so forth. Because by that time, that reaction is too late. So what happens? By the time he touches and he pushes against it, since I have the balloon properly inflated, automatically I'm reacting. See, he pushes against it, I already counter it. He lines up, I already counter it also. So that's the actual development that you want to have. You want to have the right balloon tension as far as for the hands, the body, and the legs every single time. Because if you see yourself adjusting after the fact, it's always late. Okay? How can we give another example of that? In other words, let's say he punches towards me. He punches towards me, and don't cut angles so we can see. He punches towards me, and all of a sudden you see me adjust to that. And all of a sudden I feel the force, and automatically I try to counter off that force. But in reality, if I have my structure set in place, by the time he punches towards me, I already counter it. See? I don't even have to plan it. That's how you want to develop it. You want to develop things not even before the force it actually hits you where you actually have to think about it. Even prior to that, you already beat it to the punch. That's how. Because think of it. That's why tension is so important, because the tension that exists in the hand, the proper tension that exists in the hand, is no matter where you touch it, just like a tire. You touch the tire or the balloon anywhere around it, automatically the tension is exactly the same. So that's why even if you don't know what's happening and you get caught off guard, since the tension is correct, automatically you react to it. But if the tension is incorrect, For example, let's say my box is here, and let's say it's wrong, and I don't have the wrong glue. All of a sudden, he pushes towards me. I have to inflate it and then try to deal with it. Too late, because in reality, the force is coming in so fast, you won't be able to react that way. So if my tension is here, my stance is off, and then he pushes, then I have to go like this. By the time you do it that way, too late. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. But obviously, I should probably tell you how to develop that. But at least you have an idea now that the main key development that you want to get out from that particular subject is just how you're developing things. You don't want to do it after the fact. You want to have it by the time it touches, I'm already adjusting. By the time he touches, already adjusting. And then not he touches, then I adjust afterwards. He touches, I adjust afterwards. Okay. All right. If you have questions, just ask. Otherwise, I'll still talk. Oh, there are some questions popping up here. Okay, let's see here. When doing normal punching drill to move the body in and out to make tension. Oh, shit, I can't read this. Okay, when doing the normal punching drill to move the body in and out to make tension like the first thing, how do you do that in the punching drill? Okay. The detail of that. Okay, so let's go over some detail. Let's go over detail in punching. You punch. Looks better than egg round. So punch for a bit. All right, I'm just gonna let him punch. I get a yawn out. It's 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, just got back from 11. I left at 9:30. It's not like it's like all-nighter. Good. All right. So when you're practicing the punch, you have to ask yourself, everything that you do in Wing Chun, you're always developing something. And like I said 1,000 times, people always confuse the fact. Are development and application? Okay, how would you deal against this? How would you deal against that in that situation? And the thing is, the two get so intertwined with each other, people get confused in what you're doing. So, for example, Noon's doing his punch, and let's do one punch, right? If you look at how he does his punch, why punch here? Why not punch here? Why not punch there? Why punch fully extended? And the main thing you have to remember is, ask yourself, what is the main development that I'm trying to achieve in order to apply it in a real situation? Okay? Because a lot of times in the beginning, you don't really know that. You're kind of like, okay, he has his punch fully extended. Now all of a sudden he's at 7-Eleven, he gets into a fight because someone steals a Slurpee, and he does the punch like this, fully extended out. Right? They don't have that free 7-Eleven Slurpees anymore, do they?
It's only on 7-Eleven.
No, but was that only that one day?
Yeah, for July 7th or July 11th.
God damn it.
Oh, you didn't say where they were that day.
I did. Free Slurpee Day.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know if that's some kind of code.
I know. I was like, I'm not into that.
Free Slurpee. All right. Anyway, what the hell are we talking about? So anyway, so then you ask yourself, why is he fully extending his punch out like that? Because in actual application, he punches out like this. He punches out. You won't do that in actual application. Why? Because this far out, this far extended out, it has actually weak support. Okay, so in practice, why do we practice this? Thousands of hours, stretch. Because of what? That's it, that concept, stretch. You want to develop. Think, anytime you see, a lot of times you see like Wing Chun, they do push-ups or they put weights on here or anything trying to create that exploding power for the punch. You can put your fist down. And why is that? The art was made by a chick, all right, a girl. So she could do 1,000 push-ups. She can have, weights on her arms, and the 110-pound chick, as much muscle as she's going to develop, still can't do anything with that muscle. All right. It's not like she's going to win Ninja Warrior. Oh wait. Well, but that's the thing. You're not trying to develop the muscle. I see a lot of people doing these push-ups and doing weights and stuff like that, and you gotta ask yourself, it's not more muscle that's going to develop the power, because you remember this art was developed by a girl, and you got to think in your sense, okay, even if I have more muscle, then there's always someone bigger with a lot more muscle. So that's not the route you want to go by. Remember, you got to think of it. You got to think of it this way. Wing Chun is not for the physically gifted. Yeah. I didn't look at Ryan. Ryan's fast.
Very fast.
He's fast. But the point I'm saying is that you can't think like in terms of an athlete, because an athlete, you look at it, it's like, wow, that's great. You see an Olympian, you see Usain Bolt, you see all these people, and at a certain age, once you get to that 35 point, 33, 35, you hit your peak. And no matter how much more you exercise, how much more you work out and stuff like that, that's your peak. You can never go any more unless you do some roids or whatever. Right? But I'm not saying don't try to hit your peak, but I'm saying, the great taekwondo master at 35 who's doing spinning kicks, he can't do it at 60. Or the Muay Thai fighter who's taking that beating for that long a time during that, he can't do it the same way at an older age. All right. So going back into the punch, why is he doing this punch? This is the whole reason why. Notice we're not trying to develop the muscle. I'm trying to get the stretch. This ligament's here, okay? Just here, and then exaggerate and put a little stretch in it. Right there. Okay, that's an over-exaggeration, just to emphasize the point. That's the whole point of why you're doing the motion. You're trying to get the stretch, develop the stretch every time. Because the stretch helps you to relax all the ligaments and joints so you can actually explode the power. Okay? So if you try to do a punch and you try to, you gotta have it relaxed, and at the last second you gotta emphasize it. That's like if I try to run him over, I want to hit the brakes at the last second. I don't want to do that. But when I run him over, I keep releasing the force. So the force basically is developed from the constant stretch. So that's why the hand motion in Wing Chun from the punching, where you constantly stretch, look at someone's punch and you can see the tension in his hand techniques too. When you see him do the rolling motion and stuff like that, that hand technique is based off his punch. As good as his punch is, his hand technique will follow from that. All right? So so the reason in the end, just so we clarify, is to develop the stretch. That's why you fully extend out the punch every single time. Application-wise, you won't do that. In application, I won't be like here. Because what happens is, application-wise, I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to reach out for it. I don't want to hit him with my hand. I want to hit him with my body. So my body's in at this position. Okay? Why is that? Because once your hand leaves a certain point, this is momentum-based. Momentum-based means I throw my technique out, and if something hits it, I can't control it anymore. Okay? So, for example, we're in this hand position. Let's say I'm here in double stick hands. If I throw my technique out like this, and then he blocks it, all of a sudden, I don't just block it. If I throw it out like this, he blocks. Notice it's almost like I throw the ball, and once the ball leaves my hand, I can't control that anymore. Because why? When I fully extend out like this, the body doesn't have the support anymore of the hand. I want the body to constantly be able to make the changes. It's almost like, think of it, this is the soldier, this is the general. Okay, think of it this way, it's better explanation. This is the soldier, this is the general. If the soldier goes out of range, and all of a sudden he attacks, and he's out of the range for the general to give him any more commands, he just keeps going wherever he goes. He doesn't know what to do. But since the general is in control, if I end up pushing, see how my body starts initiating that motion, not my hand, okay? My body initiates that motion, and he starts countering off that. Since my hand is still passive, it hasn't done anything. The general is still here in control, and he starts countering my motion. Guess what? The bullet I fire from the initial can still change and still get to the point of contact. All right. So understand that simple concept. Most people think in the terms, once I fire the bullet, I don't have control of the bullet. That's how 99% of people apply stuff, momentum-based. And that's fine. If you want to do it that way, that's fine. But Wing Chun, we constantly have full control of the technique. In other words, if I fire the bullet, even after you block it, is still in my control, and it can You can curve the bullet. What was that? Wanted, right?
Yeah.
Angelina Jolie.
Yep.
She needed to eat there,
She did.
right? She's thin. She looked good in what was that? Tomb Raider.
Oh yeah.
That Tomb Raider she was good. But Wanted, you know those rats? Wasn't there the rats with the bombs at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah, she should eat a couple rats. It's not like rats fattening. All right, hopefully that makes sense. Let's see. All right, so hopefully that answers some questions regarding the punch and the development of the punch. All right, and you're constantly asking that. What am I going to develop? How am I going to develop, and so forth. Okay, so recently there's a video posted that someone was asking me as far as closing the gap. And if you ask me, how do you close the gap in a fight? And frankly, what's the answer to that? Ryan, how do you close the gap in a fight?
There is no gap.
There is no gap. The only gap we know about is Miley Cyrus.
The magic gap.
The magic.
It's the magic gap.
Why? Because once again, people are distinguishing sparring, fighting, blah blah blah. It's all the same thing. Okay, it's not, because like I said, you remember how I said the tension. When you constantly, everything you develop in Wing Chun, the tension has to be there. In other words, you practice for years to make sure. Oh shoot! All of a sudden, the hand reacts automatically. Not all of a sudden, oh shoot, and then I do tons out of the blue. It's not going to be that way. So when you actually say close the gap, the terminology isn't so. I don't know how to phrase it. The terminology really doesn't exist, because in a fight situation, it just happens. It's not like you, me, Grimlock. Hold me back. Yeah, you see, whenever you see people like all set up and stuff like that, that's not fight. That's just two idiots who don't know how to fight. All right, fight just happens. It's like I think someone posted a video where all of a sudden it was the knife fighting.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he just comes out and like that, and just starts stabbing. That's all it is. I mean, you don't expect it to happen, and you're just like, oh crap, it's on you right away. So there's really no gap to close. So the main thing to remember is when that happens, you know how all of a sudden you're practicing motions like tan punch, pak punch, lock punch, and all of that. Your initial reaction, if you get scared, will not be like, it won't be some double attack. Your initial reaction when something happens is like, oh crap. You basically react to block first. That's your natural reaction. You get trained forever, and you won't be thinking, unless you're planning it, you're walking down the street and you're like, I'm in a bad neighborhood, and I got this clothes already. Then you're basically planning it, but when you don't know what's going to happen, you just basically react as far as in the blocking scenario. Okay. So as far as how to close a gap properly, maybe let's use Ryan.
Yeah.
Ryan, you awake?
No.
All right, so we're here in our guard hand position, okay? So, I've said this before. Let me see if I get a better angle. Get a little closer to the okay. In this position, when you practice, let's say practice how to close the gap, as far as since there's a bigger distance than as opposed to onto you, and this is development as far as working on your footwork and using hand coordination with this. The number one problem that people have when closing a gap, when they're like this in this scenario, is they're going to telegraph exactly what they're doing. Okay, so in other words, I'm here, and the key is how do I move in passively without giving up what I'm going to do. So, okay, so for example, if I go like this with and you see this all the time, I move my hands like this, and then boom, and he blocks. Let's say whatever. What do you block? How do you block? He blocks automatically. Okay. And the problem is, what people do is, you imagine you have your hands here, and if you move your hands around, everything within your house, I keep it in my house. See how I keep everything in my house from this position? If I go like this, wind up, or if I go like this, lops off, I'm basically signaling. So you can actually see this when people close the gap. That's why when people close the gap, they have to go like they go they have to basically speed it, right? Okay, and speed, and what's a big deal? Okay, anyone can do the speed. But when I close the gap on him, what I'm trying to do is not the technique of pock and lock, because if that's like saying, okay, if he punches me, I'm going to do bong, or I'm going to do view, and you develop that in the beginning, the technique of certain things. But in reality, when I want to close a gap, I learn how to move in with my triangle. See how I'm moving in with my triangle? I move in with my triangle. See, you don't even see my hands move. I move in. See, I move in. See? But you don't see me go like this. I do paksa, or hopefully my lopsa will work. Okay? So in this situation, when I want to do pak, I move in. See how I move in? Smooth. See? And in time you learn how to move, boom. See, nice and smooth. Apply, right? See, at the same time. The problem is the application of when you do pock and punch is most of the time, besides giving it away and telegraphing your technique and trying to use speed to get the timing to offset your bad timing, is when I close it in here. By the time I touch, if you see him, can you see this? I'll exaggerate. See how he's bouncing back, right? By the time a lot of people apply the pock punch, it bounces back already. So by the time I go like this, you already basically blocked yourself. So the timing is, a lot of times, think of it when I open the door. I don't open the door, turn the knob, push, and then step in. Okay, you gotta think in the terms, by the time I touch, I step in at the same time. So a lot of times, why most paksals or paksal lopsal don't work, besides you telegraphing it, because by the time you touch, the force already kicks back in. Okay, see that? I'll exaggerate. Boom, boom, right there. Touch, and it kicks back in. By the time it kicks back in, guess what? That force already blocked you. Even he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Let's say he uses muscle, right? He uses muscle. He's tensing up. By the time I go like this, see, automatically, he could be some goof on the street. He's just like, Hulk style. But just because of the natural way the body is set up, it's almost like you touch a balloon, the balloon automatically snaps up, even if it's wrong. The muscle forces it. So I have to know how to actually control and equalize that force when I touch in. Because if I just did exactly what he did, his hands are up, and I go like this, then automatically he's blocking. He blocks you right away. And you're like, wait a second, I took Wing Chun online. Right? I took Wing Chun, and then all of a sudden you're wondering why. But look, if and then all of a sudden he's check your connectivity. Oh no. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. No, I just got some notice about network connection. Hopefully it's still working. But the problem is, if I pock him and I push his core all the way back there, how is he going to take the hit? What's my goal? Is my goal to pock him, or is my goal to hit him? Because if I pock him and I send him flying back 50 feet, that achieves absolutely nothing. Okay, that achieves absolutely nothing. So when I know how to, when I pock here, look, by the time I pock him, imagine himself being planted in place, right? I want to plant him in place. Because I'm here, now he's stuck. Because there's two forces. The way the Wing Chun works is what? It's like a garbage trash compactor. There's the ground and there's me. By the time I come in, I crush him in between. But if this part I don't know how to equalize the force, and I just pock him, by the time I want to hit him, he's no longer there. So if I don't know what the hell I'm doing, I'm just doing, I'm doing paksa. By the time I paksa him here, he's no longer in to take the hit. So to pock just for the sake of pock is the wrong way to look at it. To lop just for the sake of lop is the wrong way to look at it. And that's the key thing. You want to learn how to control yourself to control the opponent. Because when I do the pak sao, when I apply pak, I keep it in place. Because now he's in place. By the time I keep him in place, he has to take the hit. But if I end up pushing him there, he won't take the hit. Okay? Now, besides that timing involved here, when I do the pak sao here, if my timing is wrong and then all of a sudden by time, let's say I keep him in place and it bounces back off, you won't be able to apply it. By the time he goes like this, yeah, you plant him in place and it kicks you back out. So that's why by the time I press it, hit, so you see, look at the reaction first. Hit, see? Hit, automatically hit every single time. And you don't have to blaze it either. Okay? The reason it's hard for him to react is by this motion here, I'm passive. If I go like this, I move it. See, he's already reacting. See how he's reacting? He doesn't even have to know what I'm doing. I just go like this, and he's already reacting. That's why I don't give him anything to counter. I'm here, I counter, boom, right there. Just know the timing of when to move in. Okay? Questions on this? Brian, want to add anything? No questions? All right. All right, I'm going to let these guys goof off a bit. Why don't you guys cheese out a bit and I'll talk. Just goof off. All right, hopefully that answers some of your questions. And if you have questions, go to I guess the YouTube link I sent, and there should be whatchamacallit. So you could actually type in some questions there, and I can answer them then also. Let's see. I'm just taking a minute break here. Go ahead, guys. Keep off for a bit. Guys are just cheese out right now, and hopefully that answers some of your questions or understanding more about the pot punch, lock punch, closing the gap period. Why'd you guys come here? They can actually watch you cheese off.
Oh man.
Watch Lion disappointed.
Oh well.
Get closer here. Closer. Yeah, we want close. Yeah, we want close up.
Gonna beat me up.
Gonna beat up anyway.
Try to stay there. I'm just gonna let them goof off for a bit. You can watch, and then eventually I'll critique it. Here's my Cheetos. What?
He's beating me up.
Shit.
Octopus.
I'm like an octopus.
See Japanese videos.
Maybe you didn't know that.
Not bad. Okay, take a second break. All right. So, what are some of the key developments in actually before I get into that, any questions on what you were doing?
I know where I start.
That's good. All right. So, what are we going to do? Okay, the key development first when doing sticky hands. What's the key first thing you should remember when developing sticky hands? What do you think?
Don't fight the force.
God, please don't quote that again, so.
Always put yourself in a position to hit.
From the very beginning, actually the most basic thing. Okay, then this is an upper, the video camera showing an upper view. The most important thing when you start doing the Chisao is your stance. Okay, why is the stance the most important? Let me just cut it for a second. Because you have to learn how to hold your own stance. And what happens is when you're rolling with your partner, it's very easy to end up leaning into him or fading away. If you can just figure that out, I'm telling you, that's almost the big picture. Because I guarantee you, most people, when they roll, will end up leaning forward, leaning back, and they are dependent on the other individual's structure every single time. And it's hard. It may not seem that much. It may not seem that much as far as me going like this. I may not barely lean, but that little lean means my lack of control. If I'm leaning into him or fading away from him, I do not have control of my center. If I don't have control of my center, you are always a split second behind in applying any of your technique. Always. So if you don't, so what's the key thing? You have to know how to stand straight on your own. And we apply any technique. How often is it that you'll apply a technique? You do lopsaw, this is lopsaw, and you're leaning into it. How often is it you do lopsaw and you're fading back? Because I guarantee you, for example, we have Brian, okay, hard to see from here, okay? His stance is okay right now. But once I touch, if I move into him, you controlling it? Yeah, moving in? Good, that's perfect. That's what you want to develop. You want to be able to, when the force comes in, regardless if it's hard, soft, or muscle, whatever it is, you have to know how to hold your own structure on your own, okay? Most important thing. Okay, all right. All right, most importantly, but that's one of the key developments. Yeah. All right, I actually see these questions popping up on Google Plus because I think I finally figured out what the hell I'm doing.
Nice.
All right, while they're goofing off here, one of the questions that we have here is, okay. One of the questions that we have on here is, what is the difference between Kao Sao and Pak Sao? I will answer that right now. Okay, you guys keep rolling. I will answer. Sao and Pak Sao, difference between the two. In first form, Pak Sao, okay, in the first section, Pak Sao, you push, right? Pak Sao thing, push. Excuse me. Is a pushing hand. If you look at it from the side perspective, okay, here's my triangle, right? I'm basically pushing at an angle, not sideways like this, but at an angle to pop. And if you look at it from a triangle perspective, I'm pushing to the outer edge of my triangle, not past it. Okay, here's my house. I go to the maximum of my house for Pak Sao. Okay, so if Pak Sao is here, this is where Pak Sao would be roughly. Okay, I Pak Sao, push. Okay, Kao Sao, in the third section, you see basically the way we do it, Kao Sao, outside jet, palm, Kao Sao, outside jet, palm. If Pak Sao is here, when I do Pak, okay, see right here, Pak Sao, push, right? Kao Sao looks almost the same, Kao. Okay, see the difference? Pak Sao, push, Kao Sao looks almost the same, Kao. Okay, and application-wise, what's the difference between the two? Right, I need to use for this. The difference between Pak Sao and Kao Sao is, if I do Pak Sao in this situation is push. See, Pak Sao is this one, Pak, right? But Kao Sao is like this. If I'm here, pull. See the difference? One's push, Kao Sao's pull, punch, Pak Sao punch, Kao Sao. Okay, that's the difference between the two. All right, go ahead. Hopefully that answered your question. And also, is there Chisao that is to do with legs or legs only? Oh, actually, so the question is, Ralph, you're asking, is there legs involved when you do Chisao? Yes, there is. There's actually sticky legs involved, and you can actually kick while you're doing your double sticky hands. The reason you don't see it that often is, imagine if you feel the other person's center. And then all of a sudden he tries to kick. Okay, so for example, you can see it this way. If I have to kick, notice all of a sudden you see me shift away from that. Well, by the time if we're doing double sticky hands and you actually know how to feel the person's center, he shifts off like that right away. You can take advantage of it. So you can kick, and that's why Wing Chun has the invisible kicks, because you never kick on your own. You actually have control and kick when you apply the technique. But for the most part, by the time you fight so quick, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. By the time you do the hands, it's over already. The kick is a tool. If the hands are in a situation where you can't use it, then you actually use the kick. But for the most part, yeah, there is sticky hands and kicking at the same time. So then that's all for development also. Okay. All right, you guys can come back here.
Oh man.
Yeah, you're back on camera.
My piece keeps going through there. It's gonna beat me up.
Yeah, look. There.
It's gonna beat me up. Just on my will.
Let's do it this way. Noon, you attack. Ryan just block.
Finally.
And I'll go grab some water.
Keep on the me. Getting beat up. I'm like on the old stair. Just not to.
Just letting them goof off here. All right, two things. All right, take a minute break. All right, two things I want to cover from that. Okay. Two things I want to cover from that. By the way, there's questions on the Google Plus. You could ask them, and I'll answer them over on the side. Okay. In the video I did, I don't know, maybe a year and a half ago, I had a video called "Don't Be a Boxer." In the video, "Don't Be a Boxer," unfortunately, while it was a popular video, was misunderstood. And at first, I think maybe it was because I called it "Don't Be a Boxer," but recently on the internet, I saw that people thought Steven Spielberg. There's this picture of Steven Spielberg, and he's sitting behind a dinosaur. And people got very upset about it because they thought Steven Spielberg killed the dinosaur. And they thought it was a monster. So when I posted that video a year and a half ago when I had "Don't Be a Boxer," the idea was not don't be a boxer in the sense, it was the idea of don't fade in and out. That was basically the main concept I wanted to get across. You're not going in and out of range in sticky hands when you're chisaan with somebody. But now, after I saw the Steven Spielberg picture where people got upset, now I don't feel so bad. That pretty much explains why people didn't understand it. Although I am very upset because 2 days ago they posted a video where Steven Spielberg killed the last unicorn, and that pissed me off. Okay, dinosaurs I know don't exist, but to kill the last unicorn is freaking ridiculous.
They're endangered.
I know.
We're endangered.
All right, so what was the point? Okay.
Oh, it's tasteless.
What was the point? Let me get news up here. Okay, we got news. So the one of the biggest things that people have a problem with in sticky hands is they're doing sticky hands, and next thing you know, you already closed the gap. Okay, and from here, all of a sudden they're doing attacks, and then next thing you know, they're separating again. And then, oh shoot, dude, oh shoot, force is too much, and I'm separating again every single time. All right, and you know what?
We get our game over there, and we can't connect to each other.
Just wait. All right, and the thing is that wrong? If you're sparring and you're working on tournament fighting, I guess it's not if you want to develop it that way. But if you're trying to develop the skills for a real life situation for a fight, yeah, I mean once you close the gap, it's not like the lion bites a zebra and then lets him go, you know, or the lion attacks the unicorn and then realizes it's the last unicorn and then lets him go. Okay, so a lot of times I see that, and she saw that. You engage, and then the next thing you know, you either go way off the freaking line, or you try to disengage. Now, right here, I want something that's hard, that you can't see. It's hard to see unless you feel it or you explain it. The moment I touch Noon's hand here, okay, it's a lot of times people just touch hands. I'm touching your hands. It's awkward. All right. The moment someone touches hands, it's not just me touching his hands and, oh, I learned to react and go with the force. Take what comes in, withdraw whatever, go to the bank. I don't know what the hell is, but you know what I'm saying. But the moment I touch, it's not just me touching, okay? But a lot of times people just think, oh, you touch hands, you're doing sticky hands, okay? I mean, it's not like I'm cheating like this. All right? But with one hand only, the moment I touch, okay, from here, the moment I touch, there is a connection between me and him as far as having a target. Imagine you looking through a scope and you see the target. Okay, that means from here, this force here connects from this path here to his center. Okay, so in other words, I know exactly what he's doing. If I send a little force to him, look, I'm going to send this. Watch, I'm going to exaggerate. I'm sending the force to him. Watch how his body. See how his body leans back a little. And then now uncompresses. Why? Because I'm actually connected to him. So what does that mean? Since I know what his center is doing at all times, and I'm constantly connected to him, that means if he pushes in towards me, I know he's pushing in towards me. See, my body reacts automatically. But if you don't know what his center is doing from the touch, let's say I'm just touching him, and he pushes towards me, you see my hand collapses, and you see that all the time because you're touching, but you don't know what the hell your opponent's doing. I know exactly what my opponent's doing, not from the freaking touch of his hand, because when I touch, I know what he's doing because of his center. Okay? See, if he leans forward, right? I know he's leaning forward. See that? See, he's leaning forward because I can feel exactly what his center's doing. So it's not just so. Don't misinterpret what you're developing. When you touch, you know exactly what he's doing at this point, and what he's doing is his center. His center is what you actually feel. How do I know what his center is doing? Because I can feel my own center. And if you're aware of your own center, then you can automatically learn how to feel the opponent's center. Okay. So when I made the video, don't be a boxer. If I feel his center, see how I have this connection to the center? I'm not letting go. See how I'm letting go and pressing in and out? That means if you have that gap in between motions. So for example, imagine I have 5 pounds here. Now all of a sudden it lightens up, and the next thing you know, it turns to 5 pounds again. All of a sudden, that's like you see the target, you close your eyes, and then, oh shoot, where's the target again? Okay, you can't have that gap in pressure. You have to constantly know how to adjust it to maintain that. So for example, if we're moving our hands around here, and this is, let's say, 5 pounds, all of a sudden, this 5 pounds, I line up, and then look, you move naturally. Okay, let's see. I'm moving like this, and then all of a sudden, please ignore it. See how it's like?
Yeah.
There's a gap, right? Why is there a gap? Because at that split second, I pushed him back, and then he didn't control it, and then look, he don't think, people misinterpret it. You know that example in, what was that? Ryan, what was that freaking Wing Chun movie that's called? Prodigal Son, right?
Yeah.
You know the one with the branch? You take the branch, and if you bend the branch, it automatically snaps back up. You don't want to be like that branch, because the branch is a bitch. See, if I put the pressure on the branch and let go, the branch has to snap up. It doesn't have control. Okay, yeah, it moves forward, but it moves forward without control. So a lot of times when you put pressure on somebody, he goes forward, but where to? To my hand. But what happens? If he goes toward, if I put pressure here, he bounces, he's like the branch. The branch snaps back. The branch snaps back, but where? To my hand. Okay, if he snaps back to my hand, guess what? It's not to my target. How often do you feel that when you put pressure on someone's hand, and next thing you know, I go like this, and he snaps back to this point? Because if he snaps back to this point for a split second, guess what? He's not aiming at me. You want to develop it where if I put pressure on him, he snaps back, right? But he's not snapping back to my hand. He has control of the snap back to the center. That's what you want to be. Don't be like the frickin' branch, right? Because let's face it, those rainforests are screwed. Just like the unicorn.
Unicorn might taste good.
Yeah, don't they have unicorn meat?
Yeah.
I'm
awesome.
thinking you can get a can.
Yeah.
You guys should order some.
Make soup out of the horn.
There's a question here. 1 second. There's a question here. What is the right way to do jump saw? Jump saw is this motion jump. The right way to do jump saw is one thing. One, make sure all hand techniques cover your center. Okay, don't cross the center or here. All hand techniques cover your center. So when I apply something like, let's say, which way is a good angle? Let's say he punches this hand. He punches this hand, and I do jump saw. A lot of times people go, oh, see how I'm shooting my hand out to do jump, right? Shoot my hand out to do jump. But imagine if I shoot my hand out to do jump, that's like me talking. My hand talks. If my hand talks and he ends up pushing back towards it, I can't counter that, right? But how does my hand move? How does my hand passively block this? So if my hand's like this, right? Notice it's not moving, okay? He punches towards me. He punches towards me. What moves? I'm exaggerating. My body moves. If my body is the only thing moved, guess what? This can move right away. But if my hand moves like this can't counter right away. Okay? Because everything has that. If you understand the yin-yang balance, everything, you can't go plus, plus, minus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus. It's a constant thing. Right? You can't keep talking on top of it. You got to take a breath in between. So in the same thing, if he punches, and I'm minus right now to block, that means my next motion is plus, right? But if I do plus and I have my hand lead, my next motion, I can't counter that. That's why when we always say, everyone always says body leads the motion, to have the body lead the motion is one thing. I can lead the body with the motion to do the technique, but the hand itself has to stay passive to be able to be applied correctly. Right? Feel. If he punches like this and I block with my body, I have control of it, hard for him to react. Yeah, hard for him to react. Punch, block, right? Hard for him to react. But if I go like this, punch, like this, he'll actually have reaction from that. You see, feel that? Punch. So you can feel the tension already in here. Mm-hmm. Because my hand's there. But if I go like this, harder for him. Tension. And this I can show you on video, but you can't feel it. Yeah, you actually have to feel that, what the difference is, to see the significance of the two. Okay? So hopefully that's the main thing to remember with dealing with how to apply jump. Actually, any hand technique, hands have to stay passive. When you're reaching out like this, okay, you're reaching out like this, hands are active, and you won't be able to counter it. Once the hand is active, there's two things that's wrong with the hands being active. Hands being active, if I hand up going like this, momentum base. No longer can control its own self. That means I throw the ball, I have no control of the ball after I throw it. Okay? So I want to make sure everything I do is structurally based as far as it's still connected and letting the body lead from that. All right? All right. Let's, what are we working on next? Oh, let's do something. Let's have some fun. Fun. There's a simple test of stance. Okay, I'm gonna have these two guys do. You're in Wusa. Both of you are in Wusa. I don't know if you could see this. But basically, you're regular distance, arm distance away. You go in Wusa position. Now, if your stance is good, Ryan pulls, and oh my God, he pulls me in right away. But how do you pull? How do you pull, right? If I'm here, how does he pull in without leaning back to pull in? And how do I counter it without being tense from that? So you're actually having two people being in the vertical position, and then you gotta see exactly who can control what to pull. Right? See how I hold my position? He's pulling in, I pull him. Right? But the key thing is don't cheat. Don't be like this when you practice this. Oh, I'm leaning back. Okay. Actually, do you want to talk about that? Let's talk about that. We talk about how to move the body forward and back based on the sit top.
If you do it,
Yeah, talk.
I'm not doing that. I'm still working on that.
Well, you understand the process. Explain it.
I understand. I don't know.
Explain.
I just do it.
All right, I'm gonna just. No, how do you move the body? Explain that. You should be able to explain this.
I should.
Yeah. Don't play dumb.
It's kind of a bit down.
Yeah, so he knows it. If he knows it, you know it. So don't play.
I gotta think about how I do it.
Okay, how do you do it? What moves the body?
The stance,
The stance. What part of the stance moves the body?
the legs,
What part of the legs moves the body?
the knees.
There, good. The knees do it.
There we go.
All right. So looking at Silam Tao in the first section, okay, doing Tanza. Explain the process of that. When the Tanza goes forward, what does the body do?
It goes back to balance out the ongoing.
All right. Talk about that. Move the process. Right?
Just not the right time.
And use them two as an example.
Sounds like 846 right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Talk about it a little bit. You can think it out and see exactly what you do.
Okay. I have no idea what I'm doing here.
Explain the first part of doing Tanzao or the Futsal and how the body moves in relationship to control that.
Well, when you're doing Tanzao, first of all, when Newton's pushing out with the Tanzao, yeah, the elbow's leading the motion, but the body is balancing out. So every time that Newton goes forward, every motion he does small adjustments based on the passive tension between the finger, the arm, the body, and the legs. So every part that he goes forward, it's going to be still body connected. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think he wants you also to talk about how the body adjusts a little bit backwards to keep this in.
Oh yeah, because when you're going forward with the tan, the arm
Yeah.
goes back to keep yourself in the, or the body goes back to keep yourself in the center. Just like when you go to Wu and do the pull back. They want to exaggerate it, but when you do,
Should I exaggerate?
yeah, I'm exaggerating. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it?
Exaggerate.
Oh, look how Newton's doing the time right there. When he goes out the time,
Exaggerate.
body balances because the arm is going out forward, and when he does, body support further away.
Are you explaining anything or is it a dead air?
I was talking. That counts. Newton does it good exaggerated.
What did you explain?
How the body has, every time that the arm moves forward, the body's always moving into position to adjust and support it.
Okay. How does the body? So the hands moving forward. What's the knees doing?
The knees,
Yeah.
when you're going forward, the knees are bending down because the body's going back. Right?
Bending down like this?
Down forward. Like
Down, okay, good. Okay. Maybe we should show that. I'm going to go to crotch view. Okay. All right. So, here, I'll show my you can see how hard I'm training because I'm in slippers. All right. So, for example, what angle? This angle. Good. So for example, if I want to do tanza, okay, imagine I'm doing tanza on the top here, okay? I'm in center right now. My vertical is right between my heel and the ball of the foot. If I'm doing tanza, I'm not going like this. See how I'm dropping down like this? I'm just dropping down. If I drop down, my center is not in place. Since my body is pushing the tanza forward, I'm actually going which way? See how I'm exaggerating a bit so you can see it. See how my knees are going down forward like an escalator. So Ryan, you simulate the tanza part, okay? So my tanza is going forward, and there. See how it's to balance it out. So that means the knees are moving down forward, and the tanza is moving forward, so the body leads it off. Now, the body's got to do something too, because if this is moving down forward like this, and the tanza is moving forward also, that must mean I'm leaning forward then, right? My center is offset. But that's not really the case, right? Okay, you can picture that. Okay, so for example, in other words, this is moving forward, my knees are going down forward, but if I do it this way, then the weight will be at the ball of the toe, okay? So if the weight's at the ball of the toe, by the toe area, I'm going to end up leaning forward. So when the two motions, my knees are going down forward like this, and my tanza is going forward here, my body has to offset that. I'm exaggerating this, see that? My body has to move a little backwards in order to make sure I'm still directly in center. All right, this is exactly in center. Otherwise, if both motions are going this way, you'll end up having more weight on the front of the foot. But since these are going this way forward, okay, this is going this way, my body has to counter it and move backward to make sure it's still in center. Okay, so in other words, knees are going down forward, tanza is going forward, but body has to shift back in order to make sure it stays exactly in center. And I'm not doing it this way. I'm not going down forward, and then tanza is going forward, and then all of a sudden I move back in order to set it. I'm doing this all at the same time in order to make sure I'm still in the center the entire time. That's all happening at the same time. Down, forward, forward, but my body's moving back to make sure it's still in the center the entire time. But it's not going this way first and then back like this. It's actually adjusting all at the same time to make sure I'm still in center. Okay? Now for wusao, let's say wusao, you're bringing it back. So if I go this way, right? For wusao, when I go, I'm pulling back this way, I'm doing the complete opposite. So if I was this way, I'm going which way? See how I'm bringing it in? I'm exaggerating it, so hopefully you can see this. Right? The knees are going up forward, the wusa is coming back, and it's coming back with the elbow, not the arm like this. With the elbow. And then all of a sudden, what's my body doing if it's here? If I just go like this, pulling back, I'll end up going the wrong way. I actually have to offset it and it comes back into the center. See that? Yeah, I exaggerate so you can see. All right? And the entire time I'm what? In the center. I'm not rocking from the heel or the back of the foot. I'm adjusting, my body's adjusting to make sure it's in the center based off my hand. See, I'm actually practicing that through the form. See? The form is not useless. Okay? So, all right? So, these guys are going to practice it right now. They're going to do the wusa. So here they're going to do the wusa test. They're going to test this other stance out, and then from here, this is fun, like a nice tag of war, or tug of war. And they,
That gave me that one.
Yeah, I gave you that one.
I was like, I can't be Brian.
and you can see they're making adjustments with the knees here, right?
But seafood, it looks like I'm fatter, so I'm not going to move.
Told you not to eat the unicorn.
I ordered it.
But did it taste?
I sent you the link.
Yeah, I know, I saw that.
Did the horn make you more virile?
It gave me calcium, making my bones stronger. Therefore, I have more bone joint power.
Did it make you last?
So you're not pulling. When you look at this, and actually when I first did this, it looks like you're just using the arm. That's what most people's interpretation. If you use the arm, there's no way you'll win this. The guy with the more solid structure.
Do arm.
Do arm?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, just do arm for it?
Yeah.
Just arm?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just do arm too.
Yeah, you're basically pulling it. You're creating a lever because the tension in the arm is not muscle. But once you make a muscle like this, you can automate. So for example, moves in a Wusa, right? And I'd say he shows off his muscle. He flexes his muscle like this. What happens? That's a lever right here. So you automatically can pull it. Okay. But if you hold the structure like this, okay, and he starts pulling, he can pull. See, that's what he's trying to work on. How to push and pull that motion. How to push and pull by adjusting the body, right? Yeah, let's see if you can do it. Yeah, I only use a finger. I pull him. All right, so that's really how. And what most people don't realize is from here. They end up tensing the wrist area. That's common. You're going to tense up the wrist in the beginning because you're not sure exactly how to control it. You want to adjust it from here. He starts pushing. And how do I adjust my body to maintain my 0 point? See, you got to maintain my vertical. Once I'm leaning on him or dependent, he's going to pull me right away. So all of a sudden I'm here. I lose control of it. And now all of a sudden I find my 0. So I refine my 0 and I pull him. That's really what you're doing. Who can control their 0 point, their vertical the most? Or the best, and then you're learning how to adjust it, right? So I'm here, I'm pulling already, he's losing it. The control your side, you're basing him, you're too dependent on this. Pull up, yeah. See, now you got it back, and boom. All right? Don't panic. If you get pulled, all of a sudden people panic. Ah! It's like Sharknado or something. That's my goal this weekend, to watch Sharknado.
The sequel.
Is the sequel out already, or it's coming in?
I think so.
All right, Ryan, work on this with me. So we're going to have him do it Wusa, and then we're going to do one where you're actually pushing. And this is, I admit, this is difficult in the beginning because it's hard to understand what exactly is going on when you're working with someone. It's so common. It's so common to actually lean backwards. It's so common to tense up the wrists. It's so common to just pull back with the arm itself. And it's really, eventually you get an understanding of how the body has to manipulate to make sure you're constantly pulling with the body and not the arm. How's he feeling, Ryan?
Feels okay. Just gets tight in the wrist.
Yeah, you can't get tight in the wrist. Just saying the tension that you have.
I can feel where I'm getting it, and then you take it back.
I'm not a jerk, I swear.
You always let me start because I could feel it, and then all of a sudden I feel you just like, yeah, I'm taking it.
Remember, tension is exact.
Exact.
So if the wrist, if the wrist tenses up and the body's still relaxed, it's still up because now you give them a lever or something to counter with. So the tension from the wrist to the arm to the leg actually feels exactly the same, right? Let's see, right? You slip, right? Controls. Good.
Oh no.
Get back. Oh. Good. Yeah, better. When you pull, it's still too much. You want to pull? Let's say you start pulling. I feel you pull. I say I counter. See, I'm countering that also. And my hand stays passive throughout the entire time. Feel if I go like this and I start pulling, you should be. You missed it, right? Too late. Too late. The same thing. I stay passive. Boom. Here and there. I ask you, now I can play the right way. See, I'm countering that too. See, my hand stays passive. I'm still doing the same thing we're applying in G-Sound as well. Okay?
Yep.
All right, a couple more, and then we'll try the other one with the push. If you have questions coming up with this, ask. You're losing your structure. Don't lose the structure. The structure is his arm doesn't go. Don't let it extend like this. You gotta learn how to do this. When he's pulling, learn to sink it. Learn to sink it. Don't let it sleep on you. When he's pulling you like this, you can't go like he pulls and then all of a sudden you lose it. Okay, pull. Yeah, I'm losing it like that. And see, I have to still maintain my structure. I maintain my structure and pull. Okay.
Tractor beam.
That's no moon.
Ow.
Let's see. Keep going.
Oh, yeah.
But how they're doing it right now is not so bad. They keep working on it. You need to actually not doing that. Just run with me longer and work on the stance more.
Because I like standing around.
Would you like laying on better?
Same thing.
Are we actually doing lunch?
Yeah. I'm going to Mitchell was in
Are you ready?
They have a special thing going on.
Why would I do that?
They have croquettes.
Oh, is today the croquette day? It's not August. Isn't it in August, the festival? This isn't a festival, right? It's just.
Just a vendor?
I think. I don't know. I'm just going.
We're going to do Mitsuda? Let me get it.
Yeah. That's the only thing that balances.
That's my weakness. Don't make me laugh.
Wow, that's parfait.
Yeah, we can do it too.
You go and get a burger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, good. That's not bad. That was
I
good.
can see. I'm gonna give him a little bit. I can see it.
Do it practically. Let him do it where you lose it and then try to get it back. Not just like you let him have it. Try to feel it where you lose your center and then try to adjust to get your center back. Right?
Lose it.
I did lose it.
Yeah, you did. You did.
You did?
Yeah, I saw it. Oh. You know what? You know why? Because it's common. When you're working with somebody, all of a sudden you're thinking, okay, he starts pulling, I gotta pull mine. I gotta pull mine. I gotta pull mine. That's not the mentality. This is not how do I beat this individual, right? That's the most common thing. I was like, I'm gonna pull it to beat him. No, to pull him to beat him, I just control myself. See, I was like, okay, I want to pull him. So what do? I control my vertical, control my tension, and I can pull him. See, I pull him at will. But if I'm thinking, I gotta pull him, I'm trying to beat him, that's not the way you think. But even I tell you that, the brain, it takes a while for the brain to process that. Because think of it, you feel the force, right? I'm feeling the force and he's pulling me, and you're thinking, oh, how do I counter him? By the time I try to counter him, too late. I'm falling over, right? Because by the time I'm here, he pulls me in, I think, oh, how do I counter myself? By the time I counter myself, I can pull him in. That's why I'm never a step behind. Okay? So it's easy to get trapped into that. You're like, oh shit, he's pulling me. Right? Because that's our focus. The focus is, okay, he's pulling me, okay, chill out. Adjust my stance even more. Just keep adjusting my stance. Learn to counter my own stance. Don't worry about the force so much. Control yourself. Yeah, that's better. That's better. See? That's better. But see, think how much you have to think to do that.
Yeah.
You're like, no. Don't think beat him. You gotta think control yourself.
I just felt to use it.
Yeah, see, because why? Because your awareness of your own stance, automatically you start feeling his. But if you're thinking, I'm going to beat him, you have no idea because you're dependent on him.
I think you told me this time. It's a lot different.
All right, try one more, and then we're gonna take a break, and then we're gonna do the push.
Get over here.
Get over here. Is that raining?
Oh, Scorpion.
All right, everyone take a minute break. And if you have questions, keep asking them. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Is there a motion in and out to be done in is all the 3, 4? I'm not sure what the question is, Raf. Can you ask that again? It's too general, and I'm not sure how to answer that. Oh, G, regarding the finer points. Yeah, the finer points is in the Ichigema is when you do the motions. The main part when you pull back into here is this area here. See, because when you feel the tension, see my chin goes slightly down, so I feel the tension right in this area. Because that's the part that you want to maintain the vertical. Here, in the L4, L5 area, to make that vertical. That's where the spine is, and then you want to put it in place. So the finer points is, if your arms are here, you won't feel the stretch. You actually have the arms further back. But not further back where you open up the chest. Further back like this, without opening up the chest. Because when you pull it back here, then you can feel more of the stretch in this area. But if you leave it here, you won't feel the stretch. If you play around with yourself, you'll feel the difference between the two. Okay? Yeah, this hangout thing drains a ton of battery.
Yeah.
It must be really banging on the juice to get this out. Because normally a battery should be about 12 hours, and I had this at 80%.
Yeah, it's like sending and receiving constantly.
What?
And the connection's far away.
Back in a second. Stay tuned for our latest commercial. Yeah, this is like packed, right? Saturday, and it's lunchtime. It's gonna be packed.
That's true. But then we're probably not getting it till at least 12:30.
Okay. It's not like I have clothes today.
So now what I mean, that's it?
I'm eating for a golf mills and being back together.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was thinking, how are you going to use all of that?
No. Bad for the environment. It's like driving a Hummer.
Still, I definitely want to watch what you call it still. Planet of the Apes.
Oh.
So I'm hoping that happens.
Did you see the video where they took 2 chimps to go see it?
Yeah, I did see that.
And then like one chimp was like,
Did you see who their date was?
Huh?
They had a date with the chimps. There were 2 frogs. It was a double date.
Yeah. The trick's like doing that. Once you like play the frog, you get branded tattoo.
Yeah.
Like,
You remember having a frog? Alright. We're back. Hope you saw our commercial advertising.
I thought we were advertising that.
Nah, too lazy.
Do it, dude.
What?
Take it in the eye.
Oh, the eye!
Perfect.
That you saw one copy. Alright, so we had the Wusao. We were working on the Wusao. So let's do another one then. We'll do the opposite here.
Oh, I like this one.
Oh, it's hard. This one, I push with the fist, and he has to be able to hold. Hold. Leaning in. Hold. Hello. Okay. Right? So this one, the opposite is how to hold it if the force is pulling away, how to hold it if the force is pushing. It's better. Even if I lean in, it doesn't matter.
You cheated.
I can see why that's
All right, let's try this first, and then we'll explain some detail on this. All right, so basically you have one guy's pushing, one guy's pushing with the fist, the other guy has to hold the stance. And we're going to explain some detail on this because a lot of people forget, confused on how this is meant. It doesn't matter if he leans forward or not.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just trying to push you.
Yeah.
Victory!
Ooh, you got out muscled, Ryan. You got out muscled, that means you got to work out today.
Oh no.
No, if you muscle now, you won't have to work out later. Especially after you eat.
All right. So we're seeing this. All right, you want to talk about a little bit about this, Ryan, so you can practice something?
That's right.
What are some of the things you're doing?
I'm not caring about the head too much. I
Okay.
just want to have the right tension and adjust my stance.
Okay. What else? Explain to the people.
Explain to the people.
I want to speak to Caesar. All right. What else?
Yeah, push. Well, not too much. I can still talk at the same time.
What? You can't even talk. Not playing a piano.
I thought you said one focus at a time.
Yeah.
Good dude.
Oh. Well, I can't just keep my hand here also. I also have to be able to connect to a center and stay connected the whole time if I want to.
Good. That's what I wanted to hear. What else?
Although
How about cutting edge?
I gotta form the cutting edge by meeting where his force or the direction of his force by the contact points.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Yeah, explain it. People don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Oh, when Noon is pushing forward, his arm is cutting down and in. So I have to go the opposite way to meet him. Like, if you see two planes, right, coming out like this, yeah, that's easy. But then, what if one's going like this? You gotta meet to connect both structures.
Good. That's good. There's hope.
There's hope. Take that, Kieran.
It's a new book.
We'll beat you one day. And if you're fictional.
Okay, what else?
Then,
Are you when the force comes in, are you waiting for the force to come in, or are you moving forward towards the force?
no, I can't just wait there. Otherwise, if I just wait there, you push me up either. I can't be reactive to that.
And that's something that's good that he needs to explain. See, a lot of times people see the force comes in, and people are thinking he's absorbing the force. He absorbs the force. Eventually, he's just going to get crushed. Because think of the two. This force that keeps growing, and it's got the momentum of pushing him in. And he's staying in place, and the ground is solid. The ground's solid. There's only, what's the weak part? Him. Eventually, he's going to fall over and get crushed from that. So from this point on, what happens? If the force moves in, he's got to move in as well. And the force, and once he meets up the oncoming force, what happens? He can't fall into that. He's got to meet the force, but maintain his vertical the entire time. Try again.
So what you were trying to say was force got to be force?
Yeah. You have to learn how to neutralize the force by meeting it.
I don't like absorbing things.
Yeah. See, that principle is important because a lot of times you see people, when the force comes in, people are trying to move to the side. They're trying to go around the line. You can't go around the line. You're going to get run over. There's no time to do that. That's the whole point. You have to learn how to develop the force, how to deal with the force moving head on. Okay?
And if you're leading, that's momentum based, right?
It's momentum based, he doesn't have control. But what's the other common mistake that happens with this? You do it to me. You just push it. He's pushing me, I'm not redirecting it. See? I'm not redirecting that force. He's pushing towards me, I'm like, oh, redirect downward. Oh, you redirect this way. I'm not redirecting it that way. Because if I end up redirecting him this way, guess what? If you're developing that kind of skill, if I redirect him this way, it takes me a second before I can aim the target. I'll be able to be like this. He's pushing towards me. He's pushing towards me. I control it. I can hit him. See, I'm still towards the target. But if I'm here and he's pushing towards me and I'm redirecting him, by the time I redirect him, then I'm going to hit him. You're a split second late. Okay, it doesn't look like much, but as someone who knows how he's doing, that's a split second late. Okay, so I'm not trying to redirect that force. He's pushing towards me, and I'm actually, meeting him head on. And I'm not redirecting that force. And you always see the video where he's putting 1,000 pounds, and he's redirecting. Any schmo off the street, you could show him that in 5 minutes. Okay, you can be the great grandmaster, and it's like, look, Hulk, whatever Hulk. Oh, I redirected downward. Anyone can do that. It takes zero skill to do that. So when he's pushing towards me, what am I doing? I'm actually meeting him towards him and meeting the force. Now, why is it important that I have to meet the force towards him? Because if I'm just dealing with his hand, he's pushing towards my hand, right? And he's pushing. Oh, there's so much force into this. The source of everyone's power is his center of gravity. You kill the center of gravity, what happens? That's like attacking the general. So if he's here, he's pushing towards my hand. Okay. I have to know how, if he's pushing towards my hand, I have to know how to send the force back to his arm, into his center, and actually attack his center of gravity. Yeah, I'm actually, imagine his center of gravity is good. He's going to keep adding more onto it, and eventually he'll push me over. But if I have my own center of gravity here, by the time it pushes me here, I already control it. See? Push. See, I already control his center of gravity from that. That's the battle. The battle, most people look at the arm as like, crap, and then eventually you're going to fall over. But you got to look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture is from here. When he's pushing towards me, what am I doing? I'm just adjusting my center. So automatically, I just control my center every single time. I just control my center. I don't even worry about what he's doing. Okay? But if I'm thinking, okay, he's here, I'm going to counter him. See? But once you try to counter him, too late. Well, I'm just here. You should worry what I'm going to order for Mitsuya. I feel my own center. Control. There. This way. All right, you guys practice. I want a buffet.
Or maybe the guy makes it best.
So Ryan removes his hand and yeah, in this particular drill, you definitely want to develop it where both people are doing it right, where Newton's controlling his center of gravity, Ryan's controlling his center of gravity. But actually, if Newton's leaning forward, Ryan should still be able to control that as well. That doesn't really matter. The issue is if you develop it where Newton's leaning forward, he's not doing that. He's not going to have control of his center of gravity. Okay. And the thing that you can't see only by feel is the pressure here. If this pressure is 5 pounds, it's pretty much staying there. Once he puts muscle into this, the pressure grows. And now there's something for him to counter. And then he moves back. But actually, he's neutralizing the force, keeping it nice and even, keeping it balanced. So he's not being able to put more into it. See, he's not controlling his hand. He's got control of the center of gravity. So the more he tries to push, he's just actually controlling the center of gravity, keeping it at a 0 point so he can push harder. Yes, see that? That makes sense? Mm-hmm. So for example, Newton's pushing me, right? He's got his center of gravity in place, and now he's going to end up pushing me back. Okay? So if that's the case, if I'm trying to go, oh, shoot, I got to control his muscle, But his stance is still in place, and he's gonna push me over. So I'm here. He's pushing. What do I do? All of a sudden, I already changed it. Now he's got control of the center of gravity better. Just center full. Yeah, there. Now it's back. See, he controls it back. He's pushing me. Yeah, see, right away. That's what people always misinterpret. The battle in the skill is not the hand speed, the foot speed, or whatever speed it is. It is the freaking your center of gravity and the dominance you have over it. That's why all this time and effort is spent on forms, controlling your center, and then be able to manipulate it on the fly. Okay. I'm going to do this for another minute or so. Brian, if you have anything to explain, explain it.
Now that Sifu's gone, I've got some stuff to talk about. Like, what's I gonna talk about? Well, this all boils down to just stance versus stance, no matter what you're doing. No matter if you're doing Mansell drills, Chi Sao, it's always going to be stance versus stance. Because like Sifu had said, it's battle between center of gravity. Because if Newton's off, right? I'm off. Like, can you block or do anything? The first thing that you got to do is just get your center back. Right? So if Newton is on his heels again, like right now, all he can do right now is just get a center of gravity back, because if he doesn't do that, he's going to get hit. If this was fighting. Can't block, can't hit, just got to find your center back. Now you can push, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's going to be doing all muscle trying to support. It's not going to work. How did you lose to that? I was cheating.
I can't beat your center.
Oh.
Let me see if we can beat your center in school.
That's not fair.
It's true.
Oh. Don't make a mistake. Like, as soon as they make contact, that's what you're trying to equalize, neutralize the contact point. You're not trying to equalize, neutralize the force. Or that's the bad way to say it. But then, if you equalize and neutralize the force, like he's giving him 5 pounds, right? You get 5 pounds. And I try to match 5 pounds. It's going to be ending up fighting it. What we say about equalize, neutralize is just matching the direction, like we were talking about earlier. So when Newton pushes in, he goes a certain way. And I go a certain way, but the contact is still the same. The contact at 2 pounds, like contact between our hands. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you do that, push with body. It's all about body, because if my hand's all the way out here, it's all arm support, I guess. Hands working. That's easy. He's back. I don't have to talk.
Do you actually talk, or is it just dead air?
I talked, right?
All right, let's give it the last couple of minutes. Any questions on this? And okay, one of the things too also is a lot of times when you do this and you're pushing, people are thinking, yeah, the explanation to the source is this way, okay? But if I actually try to go and think to the source like this, he'll counter me right away. Because what am I trying to do? Once again, I'm trying to beat him. I'm trying to beat him to this point. But actually, to understand the path to him is because I understand the release of myself. So because I understand how to hold this vertical and how I connect this automatically to him, automatically by that way I know I can connect this way to him. But if I'm trying to go, okay, I got to send it here to his arm, up here to his center, you won't be able to do this. To do that, I have to know where the center is. I know where my center is, and then boom, go. Right? You understand that?
Yeah.
Don't try to force the stick or try to create the connection by thinking, oh, yeah, that's explanation for the connection and how the flow is. But to do that, to control him, I control myself. I understand my flow. I understand how the body connects. I understand how this is connected to my body. And then from there, automatically, I know how to, they'll connect to him automatically. Okay? Any other questions? All right, let's do some Chi Sao. I can't put on the air can because
It's loud.
I have a crappy microphone too.
It's like,
Here, how about this? What if I do this?
don't take your pants off.
But some people fight without their shirts. I fight without my pants.
You never fight without my shirt and pants.
Go to the tag.
I can work on a time line. Sure, time is clean.
When you're cheese-selling people, right, seafood, you're not supposed to be pushing them around and stuff.
Maybe pushing.
You just really want to keep them in front of the camera the whole time.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're working on some kind of footwork, you know, like a mapo, chisao, you can do that.
Yeah, for one place.
Just keep me your beach right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, see how you're still probably hard for you. Your timing on to leave is a little late then.
Yeah.
Ah! Pants before.
Okay, a lot of times when I watch them, go ahead, keep rolling. A lot of times when I watch them, I'm not looking for who gets a hit or how they get the block. You know, you could go for an attack, and he looks like he has an attack. I want to see when he gets the attack, does he actually have control of the center, of his center? When he does the attack, is he leaning forward? Is he leaning back? Is the attack itself structurally controlled? Those are all the things I look at. A lot of times people play tag and then go around the line. And you know, that's why if you ask me, that's why Wing Chun gets its ass kicked, because you're playing the wrong kind of game and you're developing the wrong kind of skill. Timing's still late on those. Try not to overextend yourself. Try to stay within let the body support it fully.
New attack again?
Yeah, new attack, rise, new block.
So you just do it.
Oh. I was blocking something.
The blocking, a lot of people don't spend enough time blocking, because blocking develops the line of attack. Remember, block doesn't mean stopping the attack. Block is learning how to put yourself in a position to shoot. And that's why a lot of times it has to be spent blocking. Because every idiot can attack. Day one, you can teach someone a simple punch and come into attack. But the ability to, you develop the guts to move in because you can block. You develop the guts to move in because you have a shield. And that's why a lot of emphasis is learning how to actually block. Because in this day and age, no one knows how to block. No one knows how to block. Covering and ducking and moving out of the way is not blocking.
Which one does have a duck?
Yeah, duck and cover.
Oh, no, that's stuff.
Is there any place in here where we could eat that Sanaka,
It's a knockout.
the octopus live?
Oh, I don't know if I could do that.
But it wasn't. It was cut. You know,
Oh.
in the video that I posted, it was cut.
Oh, you're not talking about the one with the
Not the
chopstick?
full head. I can't do the full head.
Yeah.
Because it's looking at me. But if it's chopped up and I see the tentacle moving, I think I could eat that.
Is that the one with the poor soy sauce in it?
Oh,
That's
no.
what you think?
That's
The
cute.
sticky fart head start kicking?
No, I can't. If it's still alive, I can't do that. I feel bad for it.
Oh, yeah.
Eat the head first.
It's too much.
The other gross thing in Japan was where they were eating the frog and it was alive.
Yeah.
And it was in the bowl still.
I can't do that.
It's just.
Reminds me of a nasty movie I saw when I was
It's just. I was like,
Why can't Asian people eat that normal food, like mac and cheese?
are we gonna do a video like that? We should do a video like that. What the? What
What
is
is this?
It's like some kind of cheese
I don't know.
and pasta put together.
But it gives me the shits.
I was told to put this stick of milk, right?
Huh?
It's called butter. I think I'm starting to get addicted to it.
This is pretty exotic. There's an avocado in here.
Right, you're attacking.
And break it down. You're a titan. Break down Wall of Moria.
I gotta take my clothes off.
Do it.
Notice when blocking, remember, like I said, you're not trying to redirect that force, right? You redirect that force in that way. You're not going to be. You're going to be off target for that split second.
I do. Every time I try to on the wall. See? That's too good. What's that over there? Trickery.
There we go. Back in the frame.
A little bit disconnection. You could see some of that.
I can't move.
I'm not freezing you. I'm not trying to freeze you.
My needle here.
What?
What?
I was gonna wait for you to sneeze and then hit. Your arms are so small.
Yours too.
It's from you.
It's not just me anymore.
I see like beef dripping off your nose.
Who's wearing pants here?
Yeah, one more.
Okay.
Can't move.
Some stuff.
Stuff? Tired? No.
Yeah, how'd that go?
Oh, out of here.
Oh, I think everything is fine.
Here's the branch. Piece of branch.
All right, last question before we call it a day. For Chisa, what should I do if my partner is applying such a large amount of force that I can't raise my bong saw?
Don't play it.
Don't raise it. That means if your bong's out here, right? Your bong's out, and he's pushing down like this. See, he should be aiming towards me. But if he's pushing down like this, I'm not trying to do bong's out up. He's pushing down, I let him go down. That's it. Then he pushes down, I go down and I hit him. Right? Now, if you're rolling, and then he's pushing down like this, he doesn't know it, and basically I say, hey, dumbass, you're rolling on out. No, basically you have to correct him because a lot of times people will lean on their box like this. The elbow sunk, slightly adjust. See, he should be. How do you know you're both doing it right? If I pull away from him, he should control his own technique. If he pulls away from me, right, forward, he's controlling his own technique too, or I'm controlling my own technique. I shouldn't be like this, and then all of a sudden like he pulls away, like that. Okay. So if he's like, I'm not pushing on your box off. And then you just go like this and you go down like that. And then it's like, oh, look, you're pushing on my box, okay? So just work. That's why you have a partner. You're working with each other. You want to be able to control your own technique. And every single time, I'm going what? To the center, to the center, to the center. I'm not going to his hand, right? Don't think I'm trying to go to his hand. I got to feel how to get to the center, how do they get us to the center, how do they get us to the center every single time. And look at my structure. See, I'm not doing push-ups. Okay, I'm not doing push-ups. The structure in my here, turn. See, same structure here. Let's see the drilling motions already in that motion already, nice and smooth. All right. No, this was last minute. Probably more people. Actually, we had a pretty decent turnout for this amount. Hopefully, you can watch this whole video again because I think this goes up onto YouTube afterwards. So. Thanks for joining us. Sorry I haven't done any videos in a while. I've been busy killing unicorns. But anyway, enjoy. And I will post the link for this on the Facebook account. Later.